Hey, so today I thought I'd talk about something that all gamers face when purchasing new games, and that is whether or not to purchase the regular edition of a game or the collector's edition or limited edition or whatever version of the game that they also have. Now, I know that a lot of the people just want to buy the game, play the game, and then eventually they'll think about reselling the game or trading it back in towards another game later on. But there are people out there like me and like many other people who are also collectors of video games, and they either appreciate the bonuses that come in these collector sets, or they really put some good use to some of the things that are actually included in these collector sets. Like with the Injustice Gods Among Us set, there was the one set that included an arcade stick that's like this big or something like that, and that's actually pretty useful for playing the game. But the set that I purchased is the one that came with the statue of Batman and Wonder Woman, and that's something that, say, not all gamers are going to appreciate, but definitely the collectors would appreciate something like that. But now I'll just get into some basic collector sets that I've acquired, and then at the end I'll take a look at one specific kind of like collector set or limited edition version of games that are probably the least interesting to collectors. So I'll start out with some 3DS games. Here I have Project X Zone and Shin Megami Tensei 4. Now the main difference between these two is pretty much just the size. Both of them come with art books, both of them come with soundtracks, and both of them, of course, come with the games. But the difference between these ones is this one was just a little tiny art book, while Shin Megami Tensei comes with an art book and strategy guide. This I find extremely useful, especially for someone like me who hasn't played any Shin Megami games in the past, and I'm not that good at games like Shin Megami, so I did find it very helpful while playing the game. So to have that included in the price of the game and have the game be the exact same price, like this set be the same price as the game on its own, I was happy to pay pretty much the exact same price for the included strategy guide. With this one, pretty much when the game was released, there was no other version of it. This was it, and it was the same price. So to get an extra art book and a CD, it's still nice. It's a nice added bonus. Next are these two Wii games that I have here. The one is 25th Anniversary Super Mario All-Stars Limited Edition. Sorry, Limited Edition.
Better them than me!
Sorry about that. And the next one is Kirby 20th Anniversary Kirby's Dream Collection Special Edition. And again, both of these come with extra soundtracks and art books. They're both minor art books, and for the most part, these just have nice box designs and box art on them. And they come with collections of games. And say for something like this, where the set only came in this limited edition variety, they came like this because they were special collections of games, and they weren't something that you could find in any other format. And because they were anniversary sets, they included bonuses that are related to the history of the characters and the franchises. I should have really turned off my Simpsons notifications, but it's done now. Let me just turn that off. Sorry about this. Okay. But yeah, they're just special editions that you can't get in any other format, and the bonus in this is that you get a whole bunch of games included in one set. Next are these Xbox 360 collector's editions. This one is for Soul Calibur 5, and this one is for Halo Reach, I believe. Now, to just open this up quickly, this one you see obviously it comes with the game in the front, and inside there is packaging, just tons and tons of extra packaging that come with all these little things inside, all wrapped up inside of this sort of journal book. And in the end, all this is just an art book with interesting information, a little extra maps and letters and little things in there, but it's not really useful for playing the game, and it's nothing you can really display well. So this is an instance in which collector's edition isn't exactly worth it. Anytime where there's just an art book for the sake of having one, and there's no other sort of bonus included, it's sort of just a cheap way of having people spend more money to get a different set of a specific game. Now let me just put this away. Next, like I said, I'll take a look at the Soul Calibur 5 set. And this one, the case itself is actually pretty nice. It's in this old book design. And when you open it up, the first thing that you see is the making of Soul Calibur 5 on DVD. But this is just weird placement for a disc like this. It really should have had its own case instead of just being stuck in the cover like that. And then inside, the first thing that you get is a nice hardcover art book. And this one actually has the collector's edition soundtrack built into the back of the art book. And I find that to be actually pretty interesting. Saves up on space. And you have some character description as well, and character designs. And this is my favorite way of putting together an art book. Something small, compact, hardcover, so it's not going to bend out of shape really. And it even includes the soundtrack in the back, like I said, so it does cut down on space wasted. And then it includes the game in a full case format like this. And this is a set that I would actually sort of appreciate because the box itself looks nice, and the way that everything's packaged together, there's minimal packaging. Everything's just put together well, and I just appreciate this. Next as a set are the PS3 collector's editions, and I only have two as well of these, but for PS3 I literally only have two because I haven't purchased that many PS3 games. From what I could tell, they all have slipcovers that go over the games, but they're very, very flimsy. And there is yet another slipcover on top of the game itself. Inside, this time around, I like that the soundtrack actually came in a case rather than a cardboard sleeve. It would have been nicer to be in an actual CD jewel case, but it's still nice enough that it's in a case instead of just on in a cardboard case. And again, this is one thing that I actually appreciate, the fact that it is hardcover, but the thing that I don't appreciate is that it's so minimal. It says that it's an 80-page art book, but I don't see much here. It really is just short, very, very short character descriptions, weird artwork. I don't know what to say about this really. It's sort of disappointing. after having the CD in an actual case, seeing an art book like this, so small and minimal, I just couldn't appreciate this. And last is one of the more significant collector's editions, and that is these huge-ass PS3 collector's editions that come in these cases with slipcovers and hard cases as well. And they include pretty nice things like a full-sized art book. Like, this is actually a lot bigger than the Killer is Dead art book. Like, a lot bigger. And you can have nicer, fuller, more detailed images on the larger sheets. And it's very nice. More is included on pretty much fewer pages. And it's just really, really nice. And I just like this larger book format. Even though it's the same thickness approximately, it is much larger and much nicer. But then what I didn't understand was this sort of cheapness about the extras that come with it. Pretty much the only extras in it worth noting other than the art book, like, you just get this weird thing. It's supposed to be some kind of token for your password, and these art cards, as well as a soundtrack. Now, I appreciate, again, that the soundtrack isn't an actual case, but I don't see the point in these things. Like, this apparently is like a password key that you will only need to use once or something, from what I understood. So it really has no use. And for people who bought just the regular version of this game, they really don't even need this. So there's absolutely no reason for this at all. And just art cards, it would have been nicer to have a full-size poster or something like that included instead of these little cards that you can't really display in any capacity. But yeah, there's all these different kinds of collector's sets, collector's editions that are available, and it's really hard to decide sometimes what's worth picking up and what's worth just ignoring and buying the regular edition of the game. Sometimes there could be a lot of added value in the collector's editions. Like, you might receive extra bonus codes for things within the game, like extra levels, extra gameplay, or even just accessories for the character and stuff like that. And other times it could just be something extremely pointless, like the Halo Reach set that included that stupid journal thing with no apparent use or reason to really be there. It's just, like I said at the beginning, it's one of the problems that most gamers face when deciding to buy a new game. Do they want to shell out the extra money, usually extra money, and buy these collector sets with the hopes of possibly being worth more in the future, or having bonuses that are actually helpful to the gameplay? Or do they just buy the game on its own, play the game, and be fine with that? For the people who have decided to sort of just buy the games themselves, but still want extra bonuses like DLC and stuff like that, there are these newer collector sets that I've seen more so over the last few years that are basically steelbook collector sets. When you go and pre-order a game, usually at Best Buy or Future Shop, and sometimes also at EB Games and other stores, when you go to pre-order a game and you go to pick it up afterwards, They include the Steelbook case, along with some special DLC and extra stuff like that, with your purchase of the game, and that's what I see. That's what I see most people interested in. Just the extra DLC. More people just want that extra gameplay than all these extra things like art books and CDs and stuff like that. But for the people who really appreciate the story behind the characters of the games that they're getting into, these people will appreciate detailed art books, soundtracks, so they can listen to the music from the games whenever they want. But like I said, for most people who are just in it for the games, these are usually the sets that they will go after, the Steelbook sets. And for sets like Killer is Dead, the limited edition, or collector's edition, these, they'll just ignore them. But yeah, that's all I have to say about collectors slash limited slash crazy weird sets, because a lot of them just have strange names, like the Persona 4, I think Solid Gold Edition, something like that. But yeah, it's really up to you as an individual in the end, how much you're into a specific series, whether or not you want more information about like character development and stuff like that. But yeah, in the end, just decide on what's best for you. Do you want to spend the extra money? Is it going to cost any extra money at all to get a limited or deluxe or collector set? If it's not going to cost you any more money to get the special edition set, you might as well just go ahead and grab it. It's not going to hurt you. If anything, you'll get a couple extra things that'll be worth picking up. But for the most part, especially for sets that go into like the hundreds of dollars range, much like the Saints Row 4 set that comes with a toy gun, I don't see the purpose in that. It's nothing that you'd really want to display, and it's not really practical to play with, because in the end, that's pretty much a $100 toy gun that you just paid for. But yeah, figure it out on your own. These are just my thoughts on these collector sets, and hopefully this helped out at all in any capacity with your decision to pick up collector sets in the future. Sorry. But yeah, that's all I have to say now. See ya.